Welcome into this episode of Coach's Corner. Jordan Woodruff with you, and we're joined by boys track coach Steve McHenry now. Coach, good to have you along, and
Thank you.
excited to talk a little track and field, but let's kind of start it. How's the season been going for you?
It's been going well. I think we're either we're older or we're a little younger. So the older guys are doing well. I mean, as far as sprinters go, that's who I work with, and we're doing well in the 400 intermediate sprints, and you got some distance runners that are running well, and some throwers. Then we got a lot of. Well, I think we have majority of our team is sophomores and freshmen, so they're progressing well. But it might be a year or two before they really come on strong.
Yeah, right. So, and the habits of those seniors that you do have, kind of showing them how to work to maybe get there too. So you got a good group kind of leading those kids.
Yeah, we do. It's kind of funny you say that. When these guys were freshmen, we had like Jace Schneeberger and a couple of those guys that are older have been going to the state trap meet, and they remember that. So they're doing a good job mentoring the younger guys.
Yeah,
We got a talented group in the freshmen, come sophomore classes. So, I mean, they're ready to compete.
yeah. So where do you think the strong suit is right this year in track and field?
For us,
Yeah.
I would say, intermediate, like the 400, 200. Yeah, and we got the relays, short relays, and they're not bad in those relays, but I think where we're best is about 400.
Okay.
And we got a pretty good group of throwers going right now.
Okay. So, well, that's good. And hosting a meet, I want to talk a little bit about that because it's not just go out there and let's just run around the field.
Right.
It's actually a big undertaking. And as far as sports are concerned, I know you may be humble with all this, but it's probably one of the bigger undertakings looking at it because you have all these schools come in, and it's not like a regular game where you just have like one other school come in. You got all these schools coming in. You have all these events you have to figure out how to schedule. There's also the fact that these events, you have them going on. You want to make sure that most kids in this event, they also will run in this event, so we can't schedule them around the same time. And you'll have 8 different things going on at once.
Right.
So it takes a lot of help and a lot of scheduling and a lot of preparation to get a meet and host a meet like you do.
Yeah, we're pretty fortunate here. Me and Coach Parent, we've been doing this a long time together. Coach Landis has been around, Coach Estrada, Coach Barron, Coach Freeman. We've been on that track staff for a while, and Coach Birnbaum gets out and helps with the high jump. He runs that, and we hired Haley Hall.
Yeah.
She was a college thrower, so she's real knowledgeable, able to step in. And Coach Hallemeyer and Coach Mellinger, they're running one of them we run a long jump tomorrow. But as far as being able to run those events off, we're very fortunate that we have competent, able coaches on staff, so we feel comfortable there. But it's like you said, it's just organization of coaches meals, getting people entered into the meet, and now that we're using computers, that kind of generates that itself. But it's just one of those deals. You got to make sure all your equipment's in good shape, make sure you have it out where it needs to be. But there's a lot of grunt work and planning.
Yeah, and what's the benefit of hosting? Like, what do you think the biggest benefit, outside of the fact your kids are at home, what's the biggest benefit of hosting?
I think just the excitement that they have being able to run here in Ponca City. They only get to do it one time a year. It's not like we have home and away like you would in a lot of other sports. So this is their one time to run at home, and they get excited about that. I think that's the biggest benefit. And then I guess one of the biggest ones is when the meet's over, you're at home.
Yeah.
There's not a 2-hour drive. You don't have to worry about getting home like after 11 o'clock, trying to get them something to eat on the way home, stuff like that. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the island that we can be in Ponca City. You have to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Bartlesville to go to other meets. So the fact that you are at home and you're going to get to bed at a good time and
Right.
Not be dragging at school tomorrow is going to be a good thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I say this, we should be home by 7 tomorrow night, in our homes. But this depends on how well the meet is run. The starter, if he does a good job, and we have some coaches that do a great job running, helping with the finish line, getting the next heat lined up, ready to go. So when that race is over, they're on the track, ready to start the next race. So stuff like that, that goes into it. But I think we're pretty competent there.
Well, and a big benefit too, I think, with track and field events, they are going on throughout the day. It's a long event, the everything together makes it a long day. I think it's a benefit too for the parents because maybe a lot of them don't get a chance to go watch their kid when it's farther off. And, now you can maybe sneak away from work because you're here in Ponca City and be able to go watch your kid perform at an event.
Yeah, I mean, we do get that a lot. We get we'll have parents, text and send us messages about what time is my son or daughter running. And the bad thing about that is you really don't know.
Yeah.
You have the schedule, and really we have 20 teams coming tomorrow, and that's a big meet. I mean, that's
Yeah,
a real big meet, and depends on how many or heats there are per event. How well the starter is, keeping them. Meet going, so you really can't tell them an exact time. That's the bad part about that.
Right.
They may take off in the afternoon thinking they're going to be able to see their child run, and it may be 6 o'clock.
Well, at least they got the cell phones now, so they can maybe text them, say, "Hey, I gave you a 20-minute warning here that we're
Right.
ready to go." Because you may not know exactly, but when it's getting close to your time, you kind of know you got to be ready and get
Yeah, I
prepared.
mean that's what really happens a lot. The kids will let their parents know. Just like you said, we're on this event. It's a big meet. You may have 45 minutes. You may have 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, they talk throughout the day, so they get it done.
Yeah. All right. You said 20 schools too. Uh, I don't know. Do you limit how many? Is that about the max you want? And how's this compare to maybe some other years that you guys have had this thing?
Actually, I'm surprised it's this big. We always had a small school division and a large school division, and separate. And we're the only school that did that.
Yeah.
So we thought, let's just go to one division, boys division, girls division. And we didn't think as many small schools would come, but there's more than I thought. But, for me personally, I would like a 10 to 12. I
Yeah.
mean, probably 10 if I was picking. But, this is the way I look at it. It's not like it was, 30 years ago where kids can get out all day and stay interested.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and attract me, their attention is pulled different directions
Yes.
now, and they get bored.
Yeah.
So like when I was growing up, we'd get there early in the morning and it'd be over 6 o'clock at night. It was part of the deal.
That was a big day. I mean, yeah.
That was just the way it was. And nowadays, it's hard to get kids to concentrate that long and stay interested. So if it was up to me, I would say 10 teams, get it over within 5 hours if you can, 6 hours tops, and call it a day and get everyone home.
Well, and the small schools too. With that, you guys are allowing them. You say, well, we didn't know they would come, but for them, they get a track meet close to home too.
Right.
So you think about you guys having to drive to the city if you're going to go, and hours away if you're going to go to track meet. For them, I don't imagine they have facilities sometimes, so they can bring their kids here and maybe get prepared for when they are going to go to their regionals and everything else with track, right?
Yeah, I mean, some of them look at it as a challenge. I know Coach Fry over at Pawhuska. We talked earlier in the season. He said they like to at least once a year go to a big meet, see
Cool.
bigger and better competition, get them ready for regionals. They may be looking at it that way, or they may have a really good group and just want to see them challenged against the bigger schools. So people have different reasons for coming, but we're glad to have them.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's talk about now the kids that you're coaching. So you kind of got a good feel, I think, this time of year where you're at. So what are you looking like? Who are some of the kids you think could be state qualifiers this year?
I think we got a chance to get a mile relay in. Luke Larson, Thaden Lee, Cortez Roland Barton. If they keep progressing, I think they can get in individual in the 400.
Okay.
But we put 4 of them together in the mile relay. I think they'll really do well. And I think our next best one as far as relays is probably a 800-meter relay because everyone runs a 200 there. And then, they all love running the 4x1. And that's fine, they're sprinters, but that's tougher to get in the closer you get to the end of the season. So, we actually got it in, all 3 of them in 2 years ago. So, I mean, it's not impossible, but I would think those 2 relays that are intermediate sprints and a couple of individuals have a good chance. Isaiah Acuna is throwing really well in the shot and the disc, and I think he has a good chance of qualifying. And I haven't really looked at the numbers as far as, but I know Lance Bush is throwing the disc as well, and we have our Blaze. He's throwing well in the shot, and those guys keep getting better. There was a big improvement from 2 meets ago to last week. So I think they are starting to hit their stride and starting to come along.
Well, and that's probably the most important thing to kind of wrap it up is, you want to sometimes judge based on everybody else you see around, and that's kind of how we're judged. But at the same time, can you get the max out of that kid, and can they improve as they go along? Because some bodies are built differently, right? I mean,
Right.
and the old saying is you can't coach speed. You can only be there may be another kid out there in the state that could be running the Olympics one day,
Right.
So what can you do? And if you're seeing that improvement and seeing those guys get better, and in 6A, it is nothing to bat your eyes about at all when you
Right.
qualify for state, because there's a lot of great track and field athletes here in the state of Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's the challenge right there. When you get down to it, into the season, I mean, it's really fast. In all the events, and all the throws and jumps. But our guys they work. The ones that are serious about it, they come to practice and put in a good effort every day, and it's starting to show. And that's what we're looking for: consistency in practice, and then just improvement from week to week in the meets. And this time of the year, we'll start seeing it. We start to get warm outside. They start to get in really good shape, and we'll start seeing the benefits.
Yeah, just got to watch the rain.
Right.
That's it. And so I think you're in the clear for this one coming up. So we're good there. Glad it's not going to be on like Monday or Tuesday next
Right,
week,
exactly.
right? So I hope you guys will get it all in, and best of luck in getting that meet. Come out here and enjoy it if you can. But Coach, appreciate the time, and let's keep those kids running fast. How about it? All right, I want to say thanks to Chris behind the camera. Thanks to Coach Steve McHenry with us with Boys Track. And that's going to do it for this episode of Coach's Corner. Until next time, Jordan Woodruff saying so long, and go Cats.